Right now, you are bleeding your dignity dry for a woman who looks at your name on her phone screen and feels absolutely nothing. You are a notification she swipes away. You are the emotional safety net she bounces on while she is looking for a better option. But at the very end of this video, I am going to give you the exact psychological key, the mirror effect switch, that will completely shatter her reality and permanently rewire your own brain so you never ever beg for a single drop of attention again. If you miss that ending, you will stay trapped in this miserable cycle of chasing shadows forever. But here is the brutal truth most guys are terrified to face. You think your constant availability proves your loyalty. You think by liking every single Instagram story, replying to her texts within 30 seconds, and being her emotional dumpster when she has a bad day, you are building a deep connection. You are not building a connection. You are building a prison. You are constructing a dynamic where your value is exactly zero. You are free water at a restaurant. No one pays for free water. No one respects free water. They just expect it to be there. And this is exactly where the trap snaps shut on your neck. You have become an orbiter. You are floating around her gravitational pull, hoping that one day she will magically realize what a great guy you are. Let me tell you right now, that day is never coming. Women do not fall in love with what is handed to them on a silver platter. They fall in love with what they have to earn. They fall in love with what they fear losing. And right now, she has absolutely zero fear of losing you because you have given her no reason to doubt your absolute, unwavering, pathetic devotion. But watch what happens when the script flips. Watch what happens when you initiate the ghost protocol. I am not talking about throwing a little temper tantrum and ignoring her for 2 hours just to see if she double texts. I am talking about a complete surgical removal of your presence from her reality. You do not block her out of anger. You do not post sad quotes on your story. You do not send a long paragraph explaining why you are stepping back. You just evaporate. You disappear into the mist. And this is the exact moment the power dynamic flips. The immediate first reaction she experiences is not heartbreak. It is a massive validation vacuum. You have to understand the neurochemistry of modern dating. She is addicted to the dopamine hit of your constant attention. You were her reliable supplier. Every time she felt a little insecure, she knew she could send you a breadcrumb, and you would reply with a whole loaf of bread. But today, she sends the breadcrumb and receives pure, deafening silence. But here is the part that will make you sick. Initially, she will just assume you are busy. She will think you fell asleep or you are at work. Her ego is so inflated by your past behavior that the idea of you intentionally ignoring her literally does not compute in her brain. But as the hours tick by, the silence starts to get heavy. The dopamine supply has been cut off cold turkey, and this is where the human brain starts to panic. The mind despises anomalies. It hates when a reliable pattern is suddenly broken. You were the most predictable element of her life, and now you are a massive, unsolvable puzzle. But let me stop you right here. This is not about playing a petty game of who cares less. This is about realigning the universe. The second phase she enters is acute paranoia. The confusion metastasizes into an aggressive curiosity. She will physically open your chat, stare at the delivered status, and her brain will start running 100 miles an hour. Why isn't he looking at my stories? Who is he with? Did another woman finally catch his attention? Did he finally wake up and realize I was using him? These questions are like a virus in her mental software. They consume her background thoughts. She starts to stalk your pages, looking for any clue, any sign of life. But you give her absolutely nothing. You are a vault, and this is exactly where 99% of men completely fold. She will send a tester text, something lazy, something like a hey with a question mark or a random meme. She is shaking the vending machine to see if the free candy still falls out. If you reply to that text, you lose everything. If you reply, you immediately validate her assumption that you were just throwing a little fit and you are still securely on her leash. The power snaps right back into her hands. You must hold the line. You must embrace the void. Because if you stay completely silent, you force her into the third stage, which is the ego hemorrhage. This is where the loss of leverage becomes a physical sensation in her chest. Modern women, especially the ones who keep orbiters, derive their self esteem from their ability to control their roster. They like knowing they can summon you on command. It makes them feel powerful. When you deny her that access, you are not just ignoring a text message. You are stripping away her perceived power. You are holding up a mirror that says she is not as irresistible as she thought she was. This shatters her ego. She realizes she has lost her grip on you, and human beings always want what is slipping through their fingers. But the rabbit hole goes much deeper than this. The fourth stage is retrospective idealization. Because your presence is no longer suffocating her, she finally has the physical and emotional space to actually look at you objectively. When you were always in her face, you were annoying, you were needy, but now that you are scarce, your value skyrockets. She starts to remember the times you were genuinely supportive. She starts to remember your good qualities. She starts to compare your genuine, albeit misplaced, loyalty to the toxic guys who treat her like garbage. She starts to realize that she completely took you for granted. She took a rare commodity and treated it like dirt. The regret begins to simmer. It starts as a whisper and grows into a roar. She realizes she threw away a man who actually cared, and she did it out of sheer arrogance. And this brings us to the ultimate psychological shift. The fifth stage, primal biological respect. Listen to me very carefully. A woman cannot and will not feel genuine sexual or romantic attraction to a man she does not respect. It is biologically impossible. By constantly being available, you showed her you had no boundaries. You showed her your time was worthless. You showed her you had no higher purpose than waiting for her phone to light up. But by walking away, by enforcing a brutal standard of self-respect, you have suddenly morphed into a high-value man. You have demonstrated the ultimate masculine trait, which is the ability to walk away from a bad deal. You have proven you are not a slave to your desires. You are a master of your reality. She looks at you now and sees a king who demands loyalty, not a jester who begs for a smile. But here is where the trap snaps shut again, because eventually the regret and the respect will force her hand. She will reach out, and this time it will not be a lazy meme. It will be a paragraph. It will be an apology. It will be a demand to see you. She will try to pull you back into the old dynamic. And this is the razor's edge where your entire future is decided. If you take her back and immediately revert to your old, needy, overly available self, the respect will evaporate faster than water on a hot stove. She will realize your disappearance was just a manipulation tactic, a fake flex, and she will punish you for it by treating you even worse than before. You cannot fake being a high-value man. You actually have to become one, which means if you engage with her again, you do it on your terms. You are slow to respond. You are busy building your empire. You are focused on your physical fitness, your finances, your mental iron. You make it abundantly clear that she is an option in your spectacular life, not the focal point of your miserable existence. But let us strip away the dating dynamics for a second and look at the absolute core of this entire philosophy. Why are you even doing this? Why are you initiating this strategic absence? If you are doing it just to trick a girl into liking you, you have already lost. You are still letting her dictate your actions. The true purpose of disappearing is self-preservation. It is a rescue mission for your own soul. Every single minute you spend obsessing over a woman who does not value you is a minute you are stealing from your own potential. You are robbing your future self of success, of peace, of physical health, all to chase a ghost. Disappearing is not about punishing her. It is about protecting you. It is about pulling your energy out of a dead-end investment and reallocating it into the only asset that actually matters, which is yourself. When you finally make that shift, when you finally decide that your self-respect is non-negotiable, your entire aura changes. People can smell it on you. You walk differently. You speak differently. You stop radiating the foul stench of desperation and start radiating the magnetic pull of total independence. And that brings us to the mirror effect switch I promised you at the beginning. This is the secret that changes everything. The mirror effect dictates that the world will only ever treat you exactly how you treat yourself. If you treat yourself like a disposable option, she will treat you like a disposable option. But the absolute second you ruthlessly cut off anyone who disrespects your time, you flip the switch. You signal to your own subconscious that you are a man of high worth. And when your subconscious believes it, your reality bends to match it. The terrifying truth is that you never needed her validation. You just needed to validate yourself. By walking away entirely, you force her to look into the mirror of your absence and realize her own toxic behavior, while you look into the mirror of your new life and realize your own limitless power. You win by entirely refusing to play a rigged game. So shut off your phone, cancel your availability, build your empire in the absolute dark. Let her wonder, let her regret, let her respect the ghost of the man she thought she could control. Your new life begins in the exact moment your fake relationship ends.